Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Vlad, and you're watching the last episode of the All Tanks, All Tens Mega Series. This is the series where we take every tank from character creation to All Tens done in the War Within Season 3. With this Mega Series coming to a close, there's going to be a little bit of a lull in the content coming out on the channel, but worry not, there's going to be plenty of streams. We're going to be streaming with LB Ninja. I'm going to be playing a Holy Priest, and he's going to be playing a Frost DK. That's the current agreement. This is subject to change, but we're definitely doing it. The only question is when, and when is going to be when he's done with his all healers to 3k challenge that he does every season from what I can see. So that's something to look forward to on the streaming end. On the video end, I'm going to be making two individual videos. The first one I make after I'm done with this series is going to be a tier list of tanks for pugs. Considering I've done this entire mega series pug only, I feel like I have something to add to that conversation. So I'm going to make a tier list of all the tanks I've played, which is all of them. From the perspective of a pug. So look out for that video on the channel. Another video I'll be making is a guide for beginner tanks. So not something specific to a spec, not specific to a dungeon or a season or anything like that. It's going to be for how to tank in World of Warcraft overall. So if you're someone who's looking to get into tanking, that video might be useful to you. Anyway, that's enough yapping about what's going to be happening on the channel. Let's actually jump into the last 10 that we need to do. Previously on the stream, we did all the other plus 10 keys, and the only thing remaining is Arakara. So let's jump into an Arakara plus 10. Okay, no pull timer. Good thing I got my stopping at the bottom of the stairs message in. Alright, so Arakara plus 10, the last 10 of the All Tanks, All 10 series. Let's see how this goes. So what I like to do in Arakara is I like to pull down to this little bit down here at the bottom of the stairs. I especially enjoy when people run ahead of me while I'm trying to gather my mobs. Right, a couple of these over here. I'm trying to get out of line of sight. This is a little bit annoying, but that's okay, not a big deal. Trying to pull these guys. I don't want to use my AoE taunt here, but I will if I have to. Thunderous Roar goes out, and we have aggro now. Okay, a little bit messy, but there's a lot of things I want to pull here for the easy percent from the little guys. They don't really hurt too much, so it's kind of doable. Just got to make sure we keep our active mitigation rolling, and we should be perfectly safe. We do have multiple people that can get rid of poisons this time around, so this is really, really nice. Everyone except for myself can dispel themselves, and I can always use Impending Victory or Last Stand to make sure that I don't have the debuff from the affix, which the affix is the one where you have to either dispel it or heal the heal absorb. All right, with these two being the last ones left, we're going to jump over here, Thunder Blast. We're going to do this. A bit of revenge here. That's my bad. I didn't mean to activate that, but it's whatever. We're going to go ahead and just... I would love to activate that. I'm going to focus on kicking the fear. Then if somebody else does do some kicks... shit, I just used my kick on this. Okay, somebody did do the other one. We're going to go over here and AoE interrupt and AoE taunt. This will make sure that I continue to hold aggro while also grouping the attendant. I'm going to look for CC now, if necessary, on the attendants for their... AoEs. Resonant Barrage is going out. I'm going to stun that. Okay, I have a kick available for Ixen. When the fear comes out, which is right about now, it's going to start casting. We're going to kick that immediately so people don't have to worry about it. Somehow, with everyone able to dispel themselves, we still get 3 stacks of the affix. I'm not sure how that really worked out, but it's whatever. We managed to live it. That's all that matters. I do have another shockwave coming up soon for the attendant's AoE thing, the Resonant Barrage. I'm going to have to manually kick it, and now we're at in the arms of the angel, so to speak. Bit of a Jesus take the wheel moment where I let the pugs try to kick the fear. Luckily, our hunter is aware of what's going on, so he does take care of it. I'm going to Spell Reflect now, since I don't think anyone's going to kick the boss, which is good. They kind of really shouldn't, since he's just, or the mini-boss, I should say. We're going to kick the attendant, and the fear is coming up, but I think Ixen dies here before he casts the fear, and even if he doesn't, there's not much of an issue here. We're just going to wait here. I don't have Last Stand or anything. I'm going to wait for mana, and I'm going to wait for people cleansing this. Cleanse yourselves. At the very least, cleanse yourselves. Alright, trying to get aggro on all of these. Thunderous Roar on these guys as I return to this area. I did kick this guy, but I think somebody also CC'd him, so he didn't move after me even a little bit. We're going to stun everything now to make sure that that Resonant Barrage gets interrupted. Resonant Barrage is a channel, so we can use a CC to stop it. Very nice. I should have kicked that. I had a kick available. I stared at it and did nothing. Okay, So it hit the hunter, and then the hunter returned the favor by actually kicking the one going into my spell reflect. But that's okay, you can't always tell that the warrior is spell reflecting, especially since my spell reflect up WeakAuras kind of just lags a little behind the actual use of the ability. All right, we're going to start grouping the next bull. I don't think we have any issues here. I'm going to try and make sure that I get aggro on all these little things that I'm trying to pull. And now let's get our active mitigation going. And here we go. We have a flyer on someone. We're going to heroic throw at them. It's not a great source of aggro, but it'll do for now. And Thunderous Roar goes out. Let's put down a Ravager. Debuff everything. Last Stand goes out to get rid of my heal absorb, because it increases your max HP, but it also heals you for the same amount. I need a Thunderclap to go down, or a Thunder Blast, doesn't really matter, I just need something. We have aggro now on that little guy, and we should be okay here. Okay, so the annoying part of this for a tank is getting to the little guys that the big spawn-in thing drops. So Call of the Brood. I'm going to save this Thunder Blast in order to move over here and then Thunder Blast the ones that jump. So basically those little mobs, they spawn on people, and if people are far away, the mobs are going to be far away, and you're going to have to move away from the mini-boss in order to be able to reach them. Just going to drag these into an Earthquake that I see. And with these guys that we're at 23% mana, I'm going to say mana question mark. And just to make everyone aware that the healer is drinking. He says yes. Okay, continue drinking, buddy. I can't tell how much mana you have because you're in cat form. So I'm just going to go now and hope for the best. We're going to interrupt this, jump over here, and then make sure we hit these guys. Thunderous Roar. Get my active mitigation up. I should probably focus on that before I start trying to group side mobs, but it's whatever. I'm going to use an impending victory to try and heal myself up a little bit. We can spell reflect this, never mind. Or Shaman takes care of that. People did kick the attendant, which is really, really good. That means that he groups up. With him grouped up, my job is very easy. I don't have to look to do some crazy leap stuff into AoE interrupt just to get him to group up. Very nice. I can appreciate that from the group. I don't have an impending victory just yet, but I will be able to use one very soon. People just cleanse themselves. I use my impending victory to make sure that I interrupt. Or what? To make sure that I remove that debuff or the heal absorb. And I tried to interrupt when I said that, so... yeah, anyway. I saw that the Resonant Barrage was going off, which means that we need to interrupt it or CC it. I had an interrupt available, so I tried to do that, but I just said it. I didn't actually do it, I don't think. But it's whatever. Okay, Spell Reflects. Honestly, this is a nice problem to have. So I'm unable to Spell Reflect just about anything because people keep, interrupting the mini-bosses and the mobs that are casting at me. This is a good problem to have. I'd rather they interrupt things I'm trying to Spell Reflect, which means that they're spamming their interrupt basically on cooldown with some thought to it, than them just never using their interrupts, because I've been having a lot of issues with that lately, where I just am unable to find a group that actually uses interrupts. I'm going to leap over here, I'm going to ping here, the people should come to me, and we should be a-okay. Now, the hunter is standing in a very bad spot there. Not horrible, but it's kind of a trolley spot because these mobs are going to go towards the hunter. The hunter is going to make them step into the boss's hitbox. If they step into the boss's hitbox, what happens is the boss eats them, starts jumping around, moves his hitbox, eats all of them. It's a bit of a shit show, but so far so good. Lust question mark? Is anyone gonna lust? Any lusters? There we go. Gossamer Onslaught. We're gonna move to the right now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. Okay, people getting hit by things. Okay, or Shaman went down, used Reincarn, went down again, and then got combat rest. We're good. People are going to have to stack over here. That's going to work out quite well. I have a shockwave if necessary. I'm going to drop my Ravager over there. Our healer is having a bit of a struggle here. We're going to stun them with our thing so that our Ravager keeps doing damage to all of them. Now I kind of want to step closer. I think I just reached them with that Thunder Blast. Thunder Blast radius is kind of crazy. Or I should say Thunderclap. Alright, we're going to step closer to the existing zones so that we can drop them there. Feel like that way we can conserve some space. Where are the Eggos? The Eggos are over there. I'm going to ping assist over here so people come stand here. I'm going to ping assist over here so people come stand over here. People are kind of all over the place. At least people are not... they're kind of standing in a way where the ads are going to run in towards them. Okay, they're standing behind me now, which is good enough. They're not standing in a way where there's going to be issues. Did I just ignore the affix again on myself? All right, well, life sucks and then you die. Whatever. I'm a little overwhelmed right now because I'm looking at where people are positioning and I don't want them to get wrecked or wreck all of us. Okay, the orbs are over there. I'm gonna drag the boss as far away from the orbs as I can. By the orbs, I mean the eggs. We're running out of play space with our current positioning of things, but I guess it's okay. Our healer is definitely never prepped for healing. He heals after the fact, but luckily we're doing a key level that's low enough for us to not have to worry about that. All right, people are positioned over here, which means they're not the crawlers are not going to reach the boss. Our hunter standing on top of the boss is just a little bit scary. AoEs are coming down, or little swirlies are coming down. But I think we have enough space left to do one more, and then now we have to focus on... Oh shit, our hunter went down. With the hunter dead, I think we instantly buff up the boss. I'm not 100% sure. Where are the Eggos? The Eggos are over there. We're gonna need... This is such a shit show. Okay, well, I'm going to try and stun all of them like so. Just stay on boss. We're not going to be able to kill those. I need a yoink back on them. I'm going to just stun this guy right here. Right to the dome. He's trying to reach me. Okay, he's trying to reach someone else now. I'm running out of space. I'm going to have to run through some crap here, but I'm the tank, so it doesn't matter as much. I'm kiting the boss away from these guys. We're starting to regain space here because it's been so long. Please just stay on the boss and vortex the thing. If we can just CC the mobs, we're kind of chilling, right? So let's get some thunderclaps in. Let's get some damage in. Okay, we're CCing the mobs. Stay on boss. Do not cleave the mobs. Just keep beating the shit out of the boss. He's almost dead. Okay. Arakara first boss. Honestly, if you can beat that, you're kind of chilling. I'm just going to last stand to get this thing off of me. Maybe I should save that for when we're in combat. I'm waiting for mana before I run forward. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a bit rough. It feels like... I don't know, people are dipping really low for a 10. Is there rejuve spam happening? Yeah, if you have more rejuve casts than regrowth casts, you're doing it wrong. But that's okay. What the hell do I know? I'm just a lowly tank. I haven't done all healers, all 10s yet, so I can't really comment, can I? All right, I should have aggro on everything here. I'm saving my interrupt for the big nasty one, the big nasty AoE cast, like this one. All right. And hopefully the healer can keep our evoker alive. Okay, nice. I think the evoker got hit by a bunch of the blood workers jumping back and forth. It would be really nice if ranged DPS came a little bit closer so that they can cleave down the blood workers a little bit better. But what can I do? I can't force them to stand closer to me. I guess I can move the mobs closer to them, though. That's something I can do. Keep those shield blocks going. We're going to interrupt the web mage. I should have spell reflected the web mage and then interrupted the next cast, but it's whatever. Can't keep track of absolutely everything that's happening. More thunder blasts, more gooder, right? I think people are focusing the web mage rather than the blood guard, and that is a mistake pretty much always. Why? Because, well, the blood mage is, or web mage or whatever, is just taking less damage, so there's just no point in doing that. I'm going to self-heal here to make sure that we don't give any buffs to the enemies. I'm waiting to finish off these mobs before I go next because our healer needs to drink after every fight, and also because I want to pull this web mage into all this nonsense. So let's get started on that. Thunderous roar here, a bit of a thunderclap. Let's look for an interrupt on the web mage. He's going to do volley. I need another thunderclap. Need a taunt on this assistant, to be honest. All right, lots of CC going out. I think we should be okay. I'm going to stun the sentry now. I'm looking at the blood guard, but maybe I should be looking at something else. Maybe I should focus the sentry or something. I'm going to get an interrupt on the web mage just to group everything up a little bit better. We do have a stormbolt still remaining for the sentry. I'm looking at that. I'm looking, okay, knockup goes out. We're chilling. What is that knockup? That knockup's crazy. All right. Again, I should have spell reflected that, but I'm more focused on, I don't know, I'm kind of focused on those health bars, man. It's a little bit scary. Almost 4 million HPS though, and it's still surprisingly difficult to keep people alive through the locust swarm. I'm going to self-heal here to get rid of the affix, and then I think we're big chillin'. Volley gets interrupted by yours truly. I think, again, people are not focusing the blood guard. They're focusing the... Maybe rightfully so, they're focusing the little guy that does the shrill, the alarming shrill. But definitely the mage is dying, or the web mage is dying sooner than the blood guard. I think people are focusing it, which, again, I think is a mistake, but I can't control who they hit and why. 20% mana. I'm going to wait for mana before I go and do anything else here. The priest? What? The druid said mana. I said yep, because I see it, bud. I know. You're struggling. There's a lot of healing necessary here, but I think it might be boiling down to, again, lots of rejuvenation casts. All right, they're ready. Let's go. We're going to look for a web mage interrupt here. Ideally, what we could do here is, I don't know, if we can kill the sentry very quickly and I get a kick in on the web mage, I might go into next because this duo is here. And what I like to do is, that needs to get interrupted. What I like to do is, Hold on. Yeah, this guy's pretty much dead. I'm going to go next here. Not ideal, but I'm going to go next. I didn't interrupt the mage before I did that, but the mage was really, really, really low. Right, we're getting some CC. Very nice. Looking for volley interrupt. I just failed my volley interrupt, I think. Yes, I did. We're going to AoE interrupt here to get both of those. And now we're chilling. Self-heal for the affix. Hopefully a little bit of extra healing from the druid will take care of the rest of it. Very nice. We're going to kick web bolts here. Not going to reflect this one. Never mind. It gets thunderstormed. I'm going to ping danger here. What are they called? The next group is going to reform over here. Like, reform is what I say because you saw them like run through each other and stuff. Because we were, they turned around and started going the other direction. Now with 69% mana, I feel like that's okay. I'm just going to go next. We don't have anyone who needs to stealth. We don't have a feral druid rogue or anything like that. I'm going to double spell reflect here because hell yeah, I am. And then we interrupt the one volley and hopefully somebody interrupts the other volley. We're looking at the sentry to beat the shit out of it to make sure that we can kill it before it summons any of its allies. There is a way to skip both this patrol and the sentry. You just run around here, like along the wall, but we need the percent from here. And these guys are significantly easier percent than the overseers and drones in the last boss area, so we're just gonna rather do this than that. One last kick on the web mage before we're good to go. I don't want to move out of all these earthquakes that the shaman has set up. Even though I could go next, 77% mana on our healer should be more than enough to do this. All right, the patrol here is moving away from us, which means we can grab these little blood workers here in a moment. I'm going to AoE CC both of these guys, and then I'm going to go and pull the blood workers while my CC is not needed here. All right, that's as good as it gets. I'm going to get both of these guys. We're going to Thunderous Roar when they reach us, because that way we guarantee that we have aggro on them. This Thunderous Roar is a wonderful aggro tool. That being said, I should use my offensive cooldowns more often just to get more damage in. I just stunned the web mage mid-cast, so hopefully I didn't interrupt anyone or mess up anyone's interrupt. Because if I CC and then they kick the CC'd mob, they're wasting their kick. But yeah, 85% mana, I feel kind of okay going next, but I want to kill these blood workers, honestly. Because it gets a little bit messy if I don't. We're also getting the affix, so I'm just going to try and, you know, heal up. A little bit of healing on me would go a long way here. Very nice. The hots take care of it, and we can jump towards the blood guard. Now, there is a way to skip this, by the way. You can heroic leap, or think of EDH can also use their... Meteor Strike or Infernal Strike, sorry, I mean Infernal Strike, to land down here from up here, and you can bypass this blood guard. You just have to let your, like, you pull the boss, and then the boss will teleport things, and you can just completely bypass this group. One thing to look out for is hunters and their pets, and of course warlocks and their pets. But yeah, you can bypass this group. I've never done it because, like, it's percent that I want. This big guy gives 3.75%, so it's hard to make up for that. The druid is saying, please stay in my healing circle. Yeah, I guess we have full range, so they're kind of spread out, so it can get a little bit messy. I'm not gonna go into next boss until we're done here with this because of the affix more so than anything. All right, we have 5 stacks of the affix. We're gonna jump in and get going. Our healer is drinking already, so he can continue to drink. So we should not have any issues with that. I'm moving the frontal away from everyone else. Once the boss charges, I may look to try and, well, I'm gonna prioritize the add that spawns in when he does the charge. The add will spawn in right after he charges. There it is. We're gonna thunderclap it, get an interrupt out, and then move to the side. I'm gonna charge it again. The next frontal is on the tank. So the first one, after he charges, goes on to the person he charged. So in the direction of where they are. The next one goes on the tank. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's kind of a back and forth constantly of the tank being targeted by the frontal. So if your group is struggling with avoiding the frontal, you can kind of help with that if you prioritize it as a tank. Sometimes you might be in a really rough spot because of, okay, I just almost died here. Thank goodness for our cheat death. I got 4 stacks of that. We do not have CR available. We're going to go over here and use our CR item. Hopefully they don't accept that and immediately die to the swirly or the whatever the hell, but we do have CR thanks to our goblin jumper cables or whatever the heck they are. It's convincingly realistic jumper cables. That's what they're called. But with the lust, we're kind of making good time on the boss here. We're going to make sure we interrupt this blood mage. Again, we're controlling the frontal and trying to stand in a spot where there's no one else. And then the boss is going to probably do another one. I'm going to self-heal here to try and combat this affix. We do get 5 stacks of the affix. That's wonderful. We're going to taunt this one after someone gets auto-attack. interrupt him to make sure that he stays grouped. Now the question is, do we get another charge or does the boss go to middle? We get a frontal. Does he go for another charge? He goes for another charge. Okay. People have been good about avoiding those so far. Never mind. Literally as I say it. As I say it. All right, we have an AoE interrupt if necessary. We're going to use AoE interrupt here so nobody gets rooted outside of the boss fight. And then we're going to stun the web mage here with a shockwave. I'm going to use a big defensive here, or my shield wall, to make sure I don't die again to the stoop, or, well, die again. Yeah, it is die again. I procced my cheat death, which means I almost died. Anyway, I'm going to make sure with that to not die to the swirlies, because I'm positioning it to the frontal to the right so that people don't have to worry about it, but that does put me in a lot more danger because I'm the one that needs to take care of the, needs to avoid the swirlies. I say I'm the one as if someone else is supposed to do it. Everyone's supposed to do it, but you get what I mean. Slowly but surely making these guys join us. We're going to go in Thunderclap right on top of them, drop all those zones over there, and then nobody has to worry about it. I'm going to move over here closer to everyone else so that when they jump around, it doesn't cause too many issues. I would love to get a couple more drones over here to make the next pull a little bit easier. And while this is going out, I might just jump in and do this. There we go. That'll get the next two to join us, and we'll have... It'll be a little bit harder to live this one, but there's only one overseer, so I find it a little bit easier at the same time. We're going to taunt this. An interrupt goes out. Group's been really good about interrupts. Now I need to focus on making sure I survive. Healer has not been cleansing me regularly, I think, maybe? I don't know. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that cleanse out now, but luckily I get prioritized for the cleanse for the affix as well. We get 5 stacks of the affix buff, very nice, and that should be this pull handled. The next pull, I think, is the most dangerous pull for the tank in the entirety of the dungeon, so we're going to see how that goes. I might just opt to, yeah, I'm going to do that. Just for safety, we're going to pull these guys. We have plenty of time for the last boss if we don't mess up. So I'm just going to pull these guys, and the healer just got absolutely wrecked. All of them jumped onto healer. That is unfortunate. I think it was because he was the only one actually in combat with them. These guys haven't hit them yet. So it was the damage from the charges couldn't get spread out. So the healer just got one shot from all 4 or 5 of these guys, 5 of these guys just jumping on the healer. And then he comes back and immediately gets charged a whole bunch again. I'm sorry, healer. I didn't mean to murder you. I thought that our DPS would hit them sooner, and that you would not be the sole person outside of me in combat with them, but hey, here we are. All right, I'm gonna self-heal here to try and make it easier. Self-heal again. Apparently I killed that one. We're gonna go down this side. We're going down this side, guys. I don't want to go down the middle. That would be very bad, let's put it that way. Okay, we're trying to get aggro on all of these guys. It's going to be difficult for people to not activate all of these. We're going to get an interrupt in. Okay, now there's no extra ads coming through, and I can just heroic leap out of this. I could have walked out of that, I think, but I wasn't sure. So I just heroic leaped because I had it up. And I think this should be pretty chill. We're going to go ahead and Stormbolt that and taunt the blood. Make sure that our friend there can move. We're going to use multiple defensives. I cheat death again. I got a dispel just now, so I can actually move out of these swirlies. See, you go for one thing that isn't just surviving in this bowl, and you immediately pay the price. Luckily, this cheat death has come in very handy. On the other plus 10s I've been doing, it's been also very, very good. So I didn't interrupt the first Overseer that I saw casting because I wanted to make sure that there's an interrupt for both of them. So I was waiting to see which one gets interrupted so I can interrupt the other one. The way I could do both is I have one set as my focus and one as my actual target. So that way I can choose which one I interrupt. See here, I'm going to do the same thing. People kicked everything. I don't need to do shit. Love that. Love that for me. Okay, nice. Okay, this pull went better than I expected. The one Stormbolt that I did on our friend there when he got stuck, that was kind of what killed me. I should have focused on my survivability rather than anything else, but hey, you know, life sucks and then you die. Okay, 4 minutes 22 for the last boss. We might get a Bloodlust like in the middle of it. I doubt it. We'll see what happens, but we're gonna try and get this done. If we wipe, it's kind of over, but we'll see how this goes. We have a bunch of ranged. People can position exactly where they need to in order to avoid getting sucked into the middle, which is pretty deadly. I'm gonna land here, and I'm gonna shockwave and take care of this guy's thing. There we go. Nobody got sucked in, it looks like. That's very good. I'm gonna look for taunts on these guys, make sure my active mitigation is up. All the bloods are on me. Very good. No crips in here. Paying very close attention to my positioning here. I don't want to keep the boss too close to any of these pools that exist because someone might use those pools to avoid the suck-in. And if the suck-in is on top of that pool, then you know, what are you gonna do? All right, we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna use my self-heal here. Oh, Pandormu gets hit by one of the waves. Luckily, the waves don't one-shot you anymore. They just give you a dot for the same amount of damage, which is much more survivable. I'm going to jump over here, and we're going to use an AoE interrupt here in just a moment. AoE interrupt goes out. I charge through. I get stunned almost. We good. It looks like Pandormu got stunned because he doesn't know how to get out of that. That's okay. Maybe he charged into another one and accidentally got stunned. I can't judge. I didn't see what happened. All right, we're trying to get aggro on the Bloods, and I think we're good. There's a big pile of things here. I think it might be coming in from people just accidentally cleaving those mobs right as they come in. What really matters is that nobody is really dying. We do have CR in the form of our Resto Druid, but I can also back up with my realistic jumper cables. No, the spells are going out here, which is a little bit weird. We're going to just go ahead and jump here. It looks like everyone is safe. I'm going to use a Stormbolt here. Everyone is taking care of their roots. I'm going to try and heroic throw over there. I'm going to use a shield wall while I heroic throw spam in that direction. I'm trying to also position in a way where once I'm cleansed or this debuff runs out, I don't actually end up sending the wave into somebody's face and killing them. All right, our Shaman did go down, but we res him, or Resto Druid gets him back up. From what I can see, maybe it was someone else with something else. I can't really tell. DPS is very low because people are reasonably having to move a shit ton due to a whole bunch of reasons. I'm going to charge, or rather jump all the way over here. We're going to shockwave to take care of our thing. I can't help this guy. Pandormu just does not understand how to get out of that. It seems to me that he just doesn't seem to really understand how to get out of those. There's a person right on top of me. I gotta move. I gotta move again because there's a person over there. All right, I'm now in a good position. 59 seconds for 10% of the boss is surely doable. Let's start sending some of our own damage to make sure that this guy kicks the bucket. Or gal, I don't know. I can't really tell, and I apologize for that. But the boss is dead, and with that, the last 10 of the All Tanks All 10 series is done. We're gonna hit the group with a shill message, and we're gonna Hearthstone out. That was a little bit slow. I don't know, maybe the damage is a little bit low. Oh, we have an augmentation evoker. Okay, that kind of explains things, I guess. I don't know. I didn't realize until literally just this moment that this is augmentation and not devastation, but it's whatever. I didn't get no loot, so I don't have to trade anything, and we're just gonna peace out. The druid says, oof, and I'm playing so bad. I don't know. I think they played okay. They kept us alive through a lot of... sure, it was a little bit shaky sometimes. You know, we weren't like fully healed to full HP for every damage event for everything. But I still feel like we did okay. And they whispered me GG. So GG, bud. Kong Cheng, you did just fine. Although I would say if you have this many rejuvenations, from what I've seen in logs of top tier healers, they have more regrowths than rejuves. So that might be a direction to explore, is just using fewer rejuves and focusing on a bit more regrowth health spam and stuff like that. I don't know. That's just my suggestion. I know that it's very tempting to put double rejuve on everyone, but I don't know if that's like the right call for every situation. Let's take a quick look at how I did though. Let's see. 82% shield block, pretty good. 85% ignore pain, kind of okay. Both of those should be higher in my opinion. They should be reaching into the 90s, but I do, like, not intentionally, but I just sort of let myself not have those up at the beginning of pulls, because if I strive to get enough rage to get those so that I can, you know, do my grouping early on with those buffs active, it feels like I'm slowing down the pulls a lot, and then DPS gets impatient, thinks I'm done grouping, but all I'm doing is trying to get enough rage to be able to keep going. I don't know. So I just kind of shield wall at the start of pulls, or just kind of wing it and survive to be able to group everything, and then I focus on keeping my active mitigation rolling. As far as DPS is concerned, I feel like I did a good job. I don't know. 3.5 million overall in an Arakara when I pull the way I pull without the gigantic first pull and all that, all the way to mini boss. I feel like it's okay. I did get a little bit of help from blistering scales, I guess. 100 million damage just from that. Also a good chunk of armor, if I'm not mistaken. So fueled by violence doesn't seem to be doing all that much for me, honestly. Maybe I should go for brutal vitality, but that ship has now sailed, as this character is pretty much done. And with this character being done, we're done with All Tanks, All Tens, the mega series where we take every character or every tank spec from character creation all the way to all 10s done in the War Within Season 3. I talked about this earlier at the beginning of the video, and basically what are the next steps for the channel. The next video that comes out on the channel is probably going to be a tier list of tanks for PUGs. So not the usual tier list that you can see where people are talking about, oh, okay, so in plus 20 keys, what you want to really have is, you know, that doesn't really That's not what I do. That's not the level of contents I do. I'm more someone geared towards 2.5k to 3k range, something like that. That's what I tank. So I'll be making a tier list like that. And I'll be focusing on fun, how easy it is or stuff like that. And the more you can do with a single tank and stuff, that's going to put it up higher. There's going to be a grading system, blah, 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 blah. I guess you'll just have to watch the video. There's going to be another video that's going to come out after that tier list, which is going to be a beginner guide to tanking in World of Warcraft, basically. It's not going to focus on any specific spec. It's not going to focus on any specific dungeon or raid or anything like that. It's going to focus on how do you actually tank in this game in general, regardless of the encounter, regardless of the dungeon or anything like that. And I feel like that's going to be very valuable because it's going to set up a base of understanding of how to tank, and then you can apply that to whatever dungeon. It's not going to matter. So that's something to look forward to if you're looking to get into tanking, or you want to see if there's any tips I can offer you. Even if you're an experienced tank, I feel like it's going to be valuable. So yeah, look forward to that as well. On the stream front, what we're going to be doing is probably playing with LB Ninja. I'm going to be playing on NA with him. He is going to be playing a melee DPS, which is my main role, and I'm going to be doing healing, which is his main role. We're going to swap like that, and it's going to be fun. Neither of us are sure yet which kind of rating we'll be going for. It's either going to be 2.5k all 10s or maybe even 3k. It all depends on how much fun we're having and how much fun you guys are having watching the streams. So tune into those and let us know what you think. I'm not 100% sure when that's starting because he still has his all healers to 3k sort of thing going on, which is really, really cool and you should check out. But until then, until he's ready to get started on that, we're going to do other stuff on stream as well. So keep an eye on the stream. We stream on both Twitch and YouTube. But friends, that's pretty much it for this entire mega series. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe because there's more things coming on the channel like I discussed. The next mega series is going to be all healers, all 10s, so look forward to that. If you made it to this point of the video and the series, include the phrase all tanks, all 10s in your comment, and I'll make sure to heart it when I see it because we're done with all tanks, all 10s. But as always, friends, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Somebody come get her, she's dancing like a stripper.